cameras capture realities. But some realities can't be explained. Dark gatherings, eerie shadows, and rituals that shouldn't exist.
They're praying. It looks like they're praying.
These are the moments no one would have believed.
Run.
If they weren't caught on camera. Two friends stood outside a pub, laughing over random stories. The street was quiet, until one of them suddenly jerked forward. It didn't look like a stumble. It looked like he was being pulled. His friend grabbed his arm, trying to steady him, but the guy kept slipping away, his shoes dragging against the ground. Within seconds, he was gone, swallowed by the dark alley beside them. The CCTV caught everything. One man fighting to hold on, the other vanishing like something invisible had claimed him. Since then, no one likes standing near that alley. Even passing by gives people chills. Haunted room. The man was just sitting at his girlfriend's desk, casually gaming, when something strange happened. People had always said her room felt off, but he never believed it, until that night. Out of nowhere, his chair slid back, and an invisible grip brushed his neck. Papers scattered, the desk trembled, and the room suddenly felt heavy, almost like something wanted him out. The camera caught his reaction, frozen, confused, then running straight out of the door. Later, when he replayed the footage, you could see every tiny movement clearly, and that's when he realized he hadn't imagined a thing. Secret ritual. A leaked clip from Ohio began circulating online that was short and deeply unsettling. It showed a group of people in dark hoods surrounding a man tied to a wooden frame. They moved in rhythm, holding torches as if following a set of ancient steps. Nothing about it looked staged. The lighting, the sounds, the movements, everything felt disturbingly real. Some viewers were convinced it was proof of a secret society's ritual, while others thought it was never meant for public eyes. The clip spread fast, but no one ever identified where or when it was filmed, only that it seemed far too real to ignore. Late night visitor. This man from Florida in 2024 set up a camera to record his workout routine, but what it captured wasn't part of his plan. While lifting weights, the door behind him slowly opened. He glanced over, thinking it was just air, and continued. Moments later, a pumpkin rolled off the table on its own and hit the floor. His face went pale. You could see it in the reflection. Something unseen was clearly moving things around him. He left everything behind, sprinting out of the room. The camera kept recording, catching the empty space, and a faint shadow passing by the mirror. Cemetery figure. While driving past a quiet cemetery in Ohio, a man spotted what looked like a tall statue standing beside a gravestone. It had horns and wore a long, dark robe. Curious, he slowed down for a closer look, and that's when it moved. Its subtle turn and slow step were far too natural for stone. He recorded the figure as it shifted its head slightly toward his car. When the video hit the internet, people were divided. Some said it was part of a ritual. Others claimed it was just a costume. But those who watched closely swore that wasn't human. Forbidden room. During a late-night exploration in Alaska, a group stumbled upon an old building half swallowed by nature. One door stood slightly open, and from inside came a faint flicker of light. They peeked in and froze. 4 candles burned on the floor, surrounded by drawn symbols, and 2 hooded figures stood silently nearby. The air felt thick, like the place itself didn't want to be disturbed. When they stepped back, 1 candle went out by itself. Later, as they reviewed the footage, everyone agreed on one thing. It didn't look like a prank. Whatever they saw in that room wasn't meant to be seen. Eerie follower. Security footage from a quiet street showed 2 women walking late at night, chatting casually and unaware of what was behind them. A tall figure dressed entirely in white glided silently a few steps back, its face hidden and movements unnaturally smooth. The women never turned around, never noticed a thing. When the video went viral, people couldn't agree on what it was. A hoax, a spirit, or something darker waiting for its moment. Whatever the explanation, the thought of being unknowingly followed like that unsettled nearly everyone who watched it. Crawling thing. After hearing strange noises outside his house for several nights, a homeowner in California set up a security camera to see what was going on. The next morning, the footage left him speechless. From behind the trash can, a small creature crawled out, moving in a way no person could. When it turned toward the camera, its eyes glowed for a split second before it crept back into the shadows. The man thought it was over, but the sounds kept returning every night after. Nothing else was ever caught on camera, only that one eerie glimpse of something unexplainable. Hidden ritual. A disturbing video surfaced in 2018 showing a dimly lit room filled with masked individuals moving in complete synchronization. Their faces were covered, their gestures deliberate, almost ceremonial. One person stood in the center, directing the group with repeated chants and precise hand movements. The footage looked like an initiation, but the dark tone made it feel much more secretive. Though the leader later claimed it was misunderstood, every frame seemed too coordinated to be random. Those who watched the video agreed. It looked like a gathering meant to stay hidden, a ritual that was never supposed to be seen.
These people are extremists. They're religious extremists.
Forest scream. A man was recording a short TikTok video while checking his car outside one quiet night. Everything seemed calm until a piercing scream echoed from the nearby forest. He froze, staring toward the trees, when something pale and fast moved between them. The figure appeared almost human, but too quick and too white to make sense. Within seconds, he turned and sprinted back into his house, slamming the door behind him. The video ends with silence, only the wind rustling the leaves. Whatever that figure was, it left behind a sound and sight no one could forget. Eerie forest. One night, two friends decided to try an app that promised to guide users to mysterious locations. It led them deep into a forest where nothing seemed out of place until they passed a clearing. There stood a cross draped with a mask, a girl's doll beside an Ouija board, and candles still smoldering as if recently used. From behind a bush, they watched a tall, silent figure approach the scene. Its movements were stiff, its head turned sharply toward them. Terrified, they ran without stopping. The discovery never made sense, but it raised a chilling possibility. Some paths lead you deeper than you meant to go. Secret ceremony.
Wherefore the Lord puts forth his right hand.
In 2012, a man named Mike Norton secretly filmed something that had never been seen outside the walls of a sacred place, a private ceremony inside a Mormon temple. Hidden cameras captured the rituals, symbols, and reenactments that were considered deeply spiritual by the community. To some, the footage revealed an important cultural tradition. To others, it looked like something much more secretive. When he uploaded it online, it caused a storm of reactions. Some furious, others simply fascinated. Mike later said the experience changed how he saw everything, but what he filmed that day still divides people to this very day. Moving shadow. A security camera captured a moment that no one could explain. A young boy was walking calmly across an open space when a dark shape appeared right beside him. It wasn't from any nearby object, and it didn't match his movement. For a second, the boy paused and looked around as if he felt something near him, but nothing was there. The strange shadow moved briefly, then disappeared. Some viewers claim it was a camera glitch, while others believe it was something unseen following him. Whatever it was, the way the boy froze made the footage feel disturbingly real. Odd practice. An urban explorer documented the interior of a decaying building, crawling through dark halls until he reached the basement. The room was quiet except for a single candle's glow. In one corner sat a woman, surrounded by arcane symbols painted on the wall, seemingly deep in ritual. He raised his camera for a closer look, and she turned slowly. Her pale face looked frozen, like a mask came to life. The explorer panicked, dropped his gear, and fled. The footage ends abruptly. Whether he left something behind or escaped just in time is unknown, but what he witnessed will stay with those who watch it. Vanishing house. In 2020, a paranormal investigator entered an abandoned house that locals said was cursed. Inside, the air felt thick, like the place itself was alive. He turned his camera toward a rug in the center, and it began moving on its own. That's when he noticed her. A woman in a black cloak stood silently by the doorway, her face hidden. Before he could speak, her body turned into a bright flash of light and shot into the floor. The man ran out, terrified. Hours later, the house mysteriously burned down, leaving only ashes behind. Many believed his visit triggered something that was never supposed to be disturbed. Candle circle. Two friends ventured into a Utah forest, drawn by tales of mystery and strange lights. After wandering for a while, they noticed dim, flickering figures ahead and decided to approach, assuming someone had a campfire. As they got closer, they discovered a circle of candles and several cloaked figures standing still around them. The friends turned on their flashlights, revealing the figures' faces hidden in darkness. Then those figures began to walk toward them. Panic set in. They dropped their equipment and sprinted out of the forest without looking back. The footage ends with their flashlight beam bouncing through trees, exposing nothing further but the fear they carried with them.
Hello?
Smoke figures. In Guadalajara, Mexico, a late-night street camera captured an event that left locals stunned. What began as normal traffic soon turned surreal. A wisp of dark smoke formed in the middle of the road, then twisted into several human-shaped figures. The silhouettes walked in slow, synchronized steps across the asphalt before dissolving back into shadow. Some onlookers believed they were witnessing restless spirits. Others suspected a camera anomaly or smoke effect. Regardless, the way the forms moved together without wind, vehicles, or visible support made the sight deeply puzzling. That brief clip left no easy explanation, only more questions about what roams in the dark. Backward crawl. A street camera picked up something no one could explain. In the middle of the road, a figure with long hair crawled backward on all fours. The body moved in sharp, twisted motions, like gravity didn't apply. The silence in the footage made it worse. No traffic, no background noise, just the sound of static. Some online said it was a prank. Others believed it was something far stranger. The clip ends as the figure reaches the edge of the road and stops, tilting its head toward the camera before the screen cuts to black. Weeping woman.
Senhora?
In a quiet town in China, a man was awakened by soft crying outside his home. Curious, he stepped out and saw a woman dressed in all white sitting on a bench near the gate.
Senhora?
Her face was hidden by her hair, and her posture looked heavy with sorrow. When he asked if she needed help, she gave no reply. Suddenly, a loud clatter came from behind him. He turned for a moment, and when he looked back, the woman had vanished. Many brushed it off as imagination, but locals still whisper about the weeping woman, said to appear before strange events unfold. Vanished explorer. While hiking deep in the mountains, an explorer heard soft whispers traveling with the wind. Curious, he followed the sound to a clearing where a disturbing scene unfolded. A woman sat cross-legged on the ground, her face oddly distorted, while two tall, horned figures stood behind her like silent guards. The atmosphere felt heavy, charged, almost alive. The explorer managed to record a short clip before his camera dropped to the ground. Later, only the footage was found. No trace of the man himself. Some believe he wandered too close to something he wasn't meant to see and was never seen again. Riderless bike. CCTV footage from a city intersection showed something that left viewers confused. A motorbike rolled smoothly through traffic, but there was no rider on it. Cars nearby slowed down, even letting it pass, almost as if the drivers could see something invisible on top. Some people called it a ghost bike, while others guessed it might have just lost balance and kept moving on its own. Still, the way it turned and stayed upright looked far too steady for a simple accident. The empty bike moving calmly across the road remains one of the eeriest clips ever caught on camera. Street sleeper. A shop owner decided to rest outside his store after setting down his mat, stool, and lantern. The night seemed peaceful until the camera caught something no one could explain. The bottle near him tipped over by itself. Then the stool slid away, and the lantern slowly lifted, as if held by something invisible. The mat beneath him started folding up on its own, almost wrapping around him. Just then, a tall figure appeared, dressed in black, with messy hair and a mask-like face. The moment it passed by, the man jolted awake and ran for his life, leaving everything behind. Cemetery circle.
They praying. It looks like they're praying.
While passing a cemetery, a man spotted faint lights flickering between the graves. He slowed down and saw figures in dark hoods standing in a circle, their heads slightly bowed. The ground was covered in strange markings, drawn like symbols. He quietly hit record on his phone, trying not to make a sound. But one of them slowly turned, facing his direction, like they'd sensed him. The moment their eyes met, he bolted. The video ends with shaky footsteps and his breath echoing in the background. No one knows who they were or what they were calling out to that night. Watching roof. A camera caught something strange on an empty street, an old tricycle rolling by itself. There was no one around, no wind, no sound. Then a faint white glow appeared above, where a figure stood motionless on a rooftop. Down below, a man sleeping near a wall suddenly sat up, looking around like he'd felt something watching him. The tricycle stopped at the same moment the glowing figure faded. The clip ends right there, leaving viewers to guess whether the two moments were connected, or if something unseen had just passed through that street. Interrupted broadcast. During a regular news broadcast in Australia, something strange flickered onto the screen. For a few seconds, viewers saw three shadowy figures standing near an altar, one of them hooded with a burning cross behind. The anchors continued speaking, unaware of the image playing over them. Then it vanished, replaced by normal footage as if nothing had happened. The channel later said it was a glitch, but people who saw it live weren't convinced. They claimed it looked like a recording from somewhere else. Something that wasn't meant to appear on air. The mystery was never explained. Hillside ritual. In 2022, a man in Alaska set up his camera to capture the sunrise from a quiet hillside. The view looked peaceful until he zoomed in and spotted movement below. Three people dressed in white walked in slow circles around a large symbol drawn on the ground. In the center stood someone wearing black, spinning as if part of a ceremony. When that figure suddenly stopped and turned his head toward the camera, the hiker froze. Realizing he'd been noticed, he grabbed his gear and sprinted downhill. The footage felt raw, no effects, no cuts, like he'd caught something that wasn't meant to be witnessed. Floating gazebo. A CCTV camera in Astana caught a scene that no one could explain. It showed a small park outside an apartment building, quiet, empty, until the gazebo in the center started rising off the ground. It didn't wobble or shift. It lifted, slowly but steadily, as if something invisible had pulled it upward. Within seconds, it was completely airborne, then vanished from the frame. The clip ended abruptly, leaving viewers stunned. Locals who saw it later said they never found any trace of the structure. Some called it a camera glitch, but others believed something beyond understanding had happened that night. Hotel disturbance. What started as a calm dinner in a hotel cafeteria turned into chaos within seconds. A woman seated at a corner table suddenly felt her chair slide backward. Thinking it was uneven flooring, she adjusted. But then the entire room reacted. Plates rattled, tables trembled, and chairs moved on their own, as if something invisible swept through. Guests panicked and rushed for the exit, while she sat frozen, unable to process what she was seeing. When the motion finally stopped, she ran out too. Since that night, staff quietly avoid the cafeteria after dark, saying it never felt the same again. White Gathering. In 2021, while hiking near a cliff, a man noticed movement in a forest clearing below. He zoomed in and saw dozens of people, even children, dressed in white robes, moving in slow, synchronized steps around a fire. Their rhythm looked rehearsed, almost ceremonial. Uneasy, he crouched behind the rocks and kept filming. When a few figures paused and seemed to look his way, he stopped recording and quietly backed off the trail. Once online, the video spread fast. Some said it showed a hidden cult. Others believed it was part of a larger secret society, ritual never meant to be seen. Street transformation. A quiet street camera once caught something that still gives people chills. A shadowy animal walked slowly down the road, its movements oddly calm. But then, right before it reached a lamppost, the shape began to change. Within seconds, the animal turned into a human figure, standing upright like nothing unusual had happened. The man walked toward a nearby house and entered as if it were his own. When the homeowner later saw the footage, he couldn't explain what he was seeing. Since that day, locals say the same road feels different, as though someone or something still crosses it every night. The Waiting Face. In a deserted part of Mexico, a team of ghost hunters arrived at a place locals refused to visit. At first, everything was calm, until they found a doll shaped like a person, tied with thread and surrounded by half-burned candles. Then came the whispers, faint but calling each of their names from different corners. One member lifted his camera, and through the window they saw a pale face watching, with long, hollow eyes that didn't blink. The group ran instantly, abandoning their gear. When viewers later saw the footage, many believed the figure wasn't just watching, it had been waiting for them all along.
¡Ay, güey, no mames! ¡Ven, acércate!
Shadow Guard. A man walking alone late at night realized someone was following him. The stranger's footsteps grew faster, matching his every move. Just as panic set in, something unexpected appeared. A dark figure, rising like a shadow from the man himself. It stood between them, motionless, yet powerful enough to make the pursuer run off in fear. Once the street fell silent again, the shadow slowly faded away, leaving the man standing alone under the streetlight. He walked home safely, unsure of what had just happened. Some say it was a trick of the mind, while others believe something unseen had protected him. Shack in Dark. In 2019, a small group of paranormal explorers decided to check out an abandoned shack, rumored to be haunted. Inside, their flashlights caught candles, strange markings, and old objects laid in a perfect circle. While whispering about what it all meant, something dark rushed across the back wall, fast, like a shadow with purpose. One of them swore they heard a faint voice say, "Please help me." Panic broke out instantly. They dropped their gear and ran without looking back. When their video went online, viewers pointed out what looked like a human face forming in the corner. Since then, no one has dared to enter that shack again. Floating figure. A CCTV camera in San Vicente Chico, Mexico, recorded something that continues to puzzle everyone. The clip showed a pale figure drifting slowly down the street, its feet never quite touching the ground. Stray dogs nearby began circling it, barking as though confused by what they were seeing. Under one streetlight, the figure looked white, but as it moved forward, its color shifted into a darker shade, almost like it was changing form. What's strange is how calm it seemed, moving steadily until it disappeared into the distance. Locals still talk about that night, saying the street hasn't felt the same since. Invisible Crossing. A recording from a busy road captured something hard to explain. A faint, almost see-through figure could be seen limping across the street, moving slowly between the traffic. What's unsettling is how none of the drivers or riders reacted. Not one person slowed down or turned their head. It's as if the figure wasn't visible to anyone but the camera. On screen, it looked like a human-shaped shadow, moving calmly from one side to the other before fading away. People still replay the clip, trying to decide whether it was a glitch, a trick of light, or something else entirely. Watcher in Woods. In 2023, search teams looking for a forest thief came across something none of them expected. On top of a rusted car sat a cloaked figure completely covered in black. It didn't move or make a sound, almost like a statue left behind. But when one of the officers moved closer, the robe shifted slightly, as if something was alive beneath it. Before they could react, the footage ended. The figure vanished, and no one has been able to identify who or what it was. Locals now call it the Watcher, believing it wasn't just hiding, it was waiting. Warehouse Shadow. In 2017, a night shift recording from a warehouse started circulating online for all the wrong reasons. Everything seemed routine until one forklift suddenly veered off course and crashed straight into a storage lane. At first, it looked like a simple mistake until people noticed something strange in the footage. Just before the crash, a faint black shadow drifted past the vehicle, then disappeared the moment it hit the racks. Workers who reviewed the clip later said they felt chills, claiming the shadow almost looked like it caused the accident. Whether a glitch or something paranormal, that warehouse hasn't felt normal since. Watcher at Chapel.
What the hell's that?
Oh my God!
A man exploring an abandoned chapel thought he was filming another ordinary rundown site. But while focusing on a memorial plaque, a sharp noise made him turn. Through a narrow window, he saw a pale face wrapped in white cloth staring straight at him. Startled, he ran outside, only to spot the same figure again, this time standing perfectly still on the chapel's roof, silently watching. The clip ends with his voice trembling, unsure if what he saw was real. Many who've watched it believe the figure wasn't just a trick of light, but something tied to the chapel's forgotten past.
Guys, whatever I've just seen is staring, right?
Silent guest. At the Titanic Museum, a group of paranormal investigators decided to test one of the original iron gates once used on the ship, while asking questions into the quiet room.
These meters going nuts.
Can you stop for a second?
Can you show yourself to us?
Their devices began flashing rapidly, picking up strange readings. When the camera briefly panned toward the visitors, a tall, cloaked figure appeared, walking silently behind them. None of the team matched that description, and the figure vanished seconds later. Some think it could be the spirit of a passenger connected to the ship's story, while others believe something much older lingers there. The clip still unsettles those who've seen it.
Can't hear you if you're in there.
Gliding across. Late one night, security footage showed an empty road until a faint, ghost-like figure suddenly crossed at an unusual speed. Its movement didn't resemble walking at all. It looked like it was gliding smoothly above the ground. For a moment, the figure appeared solid, then slowly faded before leaving the frame completely. Some viewers insist it's just a camera glitch, but others can't shake off how natural the motion looked. With no one else around and no clear explanation, the short clip feels like a glimpse into something not meant to be seen. Ritual clash.
Hola!
In 2024, a mysterious video began circulating online, showing what many described as a witch caught in the middle of a strange confrontation. In the clip, a woman dressed in white was guided to the ground by two robed figures, while another person, cloaked in red, moved their hands over her as if performing a ritual to counter something unseen. The scene looked tense, like a silent struggle between two opposing energies. Some said it was just a stage performance, while others believed it captured a real attempt to restrain dark forces. Whatever the truth, the footage felt unsettlingly real.
¿Qué le van a hacer?
Vanishing mist. A TikTok user named La Huela del Terra shared a clip in August 2021 that left viewers puzzled. It showed a quiet road somewhere in South America. Everything looked ordinary until a faint, misty figure appeared near the edge of the street, taking a few slow steps before fading away completely. The moment was so sudden that people couldn't tell if it was real or just a camera glitch. Some were convinced it showed a wandering spirit, while others thought it was simply an illusion. With no location or follow-up, the mystery of the vanishing figure remains unsolved. Silent Nun. While filming a centuries-old cathedral in a small Italian town, filmmaker Leo Matthews captured something that made viewers uneasy. The footage seemed normal until someone noticed a faint outline in one of the upper windows. When zoomed in, the figure appeared to be a nun standing perfectly still, even though the building had been abandoned for decades. Some dismissed it as a reflection, but others believed it was a spirit tied to the cathedral's history. The calm stillness of the image made it even more haunting, as if she never truly left the place she once called sacred. Half seen. A group of friends were hanging out one night, laughing and scrolling through a phone, when one of them suddenly froze. The security camera caught what made them stop: a boy in a cap walking past, but only his upper body was visible. He moved forward as if the rest of him didn't exist. The friends screamed and ran out, unsure what they had just witnessed. Later, when they replayed the footage, the sight felt even more disturbing. Whether it was a glitch, a trick of light, or something unexplainable, that short clip still gives viewers chills. It's time for today's open discussion. This woman from Indonesia decided to clean her garage late one evening, expecting only dust and old boxes. As she sorted through stacks, she suddenly slipped, and the camera showed something strange. Without anyone visible, she was pulled across the floor several feet before she struggled free and crawled away. The moment looked like a fall at first, but playback revealed something unseen tugging at her. Some viewers thought it was a trick of light and shadow. Others believed an invisible force was in the room. After that night, she never entered the garage alone again. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to stay up to date with our upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.